was formerly a dark room. And it was very small. It was the smallest room in the house. And I wanted a desk to work on, but there was no room for it. So I built this, and I'm not a professional builder or anything. This is one of the first things I've really built. And I had screwed it here into the wall, so it would sit like this. And I could sit at it, and it's a perfect size to do work at. But then, when I would be done with it, I could fold it up into the wall. And I had another eye, or what is that called? An eye hole screw that I would screw into the wall so that the two holes would be parallel. And then I would stick a rod into it, and it fit perfectly, so it would be fastened, and it would stick into the wall and be create the space for the room for me to move around in. But that is it. That's my everyday creation.
It's a watering system for the plants, so they get water. You go like this, and you bring it up. You have to go over here. Oh, and so like water comes down through the yellow tube into this pan, and then the pan distributes the water to all the plants. And then the leftover water, the pee of the plants, the urination of the plants, it fills up this. And then this, you put something to catch it with.
When you press the handle on the outside, that it makes this little motor turn around, and that dingly thing bangs against this wheel, and that's the doorbell.
Yeah, this is my croquet set. It's like for playing croquet, silly sports. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, this is my computer desk. So I'm able to do computers. It's like nothing in my feet, so I can cross my legs, and like this also can fold out of the way, so it's not in the way. This is my keychain, so I can take keys on and off. This is music. This is for music when it's playing here or in the kitchen. I don't know what else I have to show you, I'm sorry. In here at least. Yeah, it's just fancy, I guess.
The idea behind these, I guess we could call them shelves, display unit. But I should probably come up with a special name for them. But the idea was that I wanted to have a whole shelf, a whole wall of shelves. But I'm very impatient, and I realized I'd have to get all the different kinds of wood and measure them out and sort of make real shelves. And at a certain point I realized, you know, that's not my nature anyway. My nature is just to sort of work with whatever is around. So I went into our wood shop, and I found there was all kinds of scrap wood around from all the projects that we're doing around Flux, and I realized, wow, I can just take this scrap wood and I'll find ways to fit it in and screw it together. And then I decided in a way to myself that my principle would be no fixing, no going backwards, no, I'll just add. And if something breaks, or I drill something and it splits the wood, I'll just add another piece of wood. It was sort of a principle of maximalism. Just put more on until it's all fixed. And so I kept working until I used up all the scrap wood we had. and this is what this is the final product. So
This particular device is an infrared, basically ghetto camcorder, which consists of this battery, which is actually a motorcycle battery. You can get it for really cheap in any kind of a hardware store. And it's pretty long lasting actually once you charge it. It takes forever to charge. And then you have this camera that you get for pretty damn cheap. It's basically a security cam, a surveillance cam. And so what we basically did with it was we stick that in the box. We don't have it in here right now, a wireless transmitter that you could send the footage out that you film with. Now the idea behind this camera was that we actually use it for shows, because we do shows in clubs where it's pretty dark. We sometimes like to put live video on the walls. This particular design, I mean, we never actually built this, but this was sort of a prototype for building what we call a camera for the people. In terms of like, ideally we want to be able to build hundreds of these relatively high fidelity cameras, hopefully with wireless capabilities, to give out to the people to use against police and other security forces as they're, underperforming their ability, so to speak. So that's another project. I mean, you need to be something a lot smaller than this, obviously. So that's pretty much it.
In a basic sense, this functions as a pump. We had a motorcycle that we needed to ship. The motorcycle had gasoline in the fuel tank. The fuel tank opening was extremely small, and it had to be completely empty of the gasoline before we shipped it. And basically the installer named Jean, he constructed this out of the head of a regular spray bottle, probably for some cleaning solution, a wire hanger, a piece of tube, and a zip tie. He originally just had the pump spray with the tube, but couldn't get he had no direction on how to get all of the gasoline out, so he added the wire to be able to move around inside the gas tank. It worked rather effectively, but he was there probably pumping for maybe an hour or so, just because it doesn't pump out very much.
This belt clip magnet I did clips onto your belt like this. I do a lot of construction and art handling and stuff like that, so I always need to carry screws and nails around, so I don't have to put them in my pocket. I'll just have them on my belt and I can just use them, grab them. It's really quick. That's one thing I always carry around with me. I also have this. It's a zip tie dispenser. Zip ties are a great way to secure cables and cords together, but they are they're always loose, and so I found a way to secure them together. If you take an old one and just pull them through, then you can have a dispenser, and they're always available, and you can just pull them out, so you can be working on top of rafters, in the ceiling, and you can just grab them like that. You don't have to reach into your pocket, and so that's a great little device.
What else? Oh, this is my filing system. So for instance, when I have a receipt, I can just go ATM. So I have another receipt. This is another. So I can just go like that, and this over the year, so I can do my taxes. No, I'm not going to show you that. A couple things I can't show you because I want to patent them. So.
Okay, this is my homemade animation stand, made mostly out of styrofoam, and I animate on a lithography stone, which I use litho crayons like these, draw on them, scratch it off, erase, restart, and I take a photograph with just a simple digital camera, and I use this mirror to, to see what is on the camera, because sometimes it's kind of hard to see over there. And then after I take a picture, start the process over, and then upload all the pictures into my computer and edit with Final Cut Pro. And I have like a little homemade animation.
There's a pie launcher. Launches pies. It's a little dangerous. So you hold it like that and you launch pie. And that's what that is.
So I built this mezzanine, this wood structure, basically because I moved into this space and I had to live on the floor because I didn't have any desk or any shelving systems, and I collect a lot of stuff and I archive a lot of stuff and build a lot of stuff, and so after a few months living here, I needed more space, and the drop ceiling came to about this level here, which you can see is the blue trim around the room. So over the course of about a month and a half, I built this with scrap wood, wood that I brought home from other parts of the city on the bus or on the subway, and then eventually it all came together. So now I sleep down there and I work up here. And I hoard a lot of stuff, and there's yet room to build because I removed the drop ceiling, so I've gained about 5 more feet of vertical space. So I'm building more shelves and planning to build more storage to go up over time.
Okay, so this is a handmade video projector. And I made it because I didn't want to spend a lot of money buying a video projector. So I found that I could build one myself using just a simple computer flat LCD screen that you take apart and you keep the LCD. I found an old retro projector, and basically by putting the LCD on top of the retro projector, it's a computer screen and it projects on the wall. So I spent maybe $100 in total and just took apart some equipment and placed it together to make a video projector. That's pretty much it.
It's I don't know what to call it, but I just stuck a old music box on top of this guitar, and so the wood from the guitar amplifies the sound, and you just play it with a needle. It's actually hard to play something very precise. It's always kind of random, but it's a nice little toy instrument. I can't really play any instruments, but with this I can pretend at least. So.
These are my stilts. This is my left stilt. I made this. I was the stilt dancer, resident stilt dancer at New York City's biggest club, Webster Hall. And I made these so I could work. I would get up on these, which are a meter off the ground, 39 inches. And I would move around the crowd, dance with the crowd, move through the club, just like it is as if I was just a regular person, except I would be 9 feet tall, about 3 meters when I was wearing them. And that's what they were for. This kind of a stilt basically is just a handmade stilt. This is the old style circus stilt developed in Europe probably in the, 200 or 300 years ago, some kind of basic style around like this. You see the foot's attached, this goes around the leg, just below the knee, and that's what you're standing on.
It's a solar-powered flashlight. So it's put this out in the sun. Put that out in the sun, and then it charges up the flashlight. See this thing? This is a diode, and it's able to be a little flashlight. Because I don't find the things in the store, and the things in the store are boring, and I can always make something better and cheaper than what I can buy for in the store. Usually what happens is if I can think of it, I can build it.